Hi, everyone. Welcome to the One Podcast. I wanted to welcome our new guest today, Tova Eastman. She is the founder and CEO of Ignite Fitness Academy. And we're going to be talking today. First, we want to hear your story and how you got involved with fitness to begin with, and then how you branched into and created Ignite Fitness Academy.
Thank you so much for having me here, Lisa. I'm so excited. And when I connected with you and I saw your page and this is everything that I believe in. At this point in my career, I've been doing this for 12 years now. I don't even think of myself as a personal trainer or nutrition specialist. That's part of what we do, but I see it as like we help women design the most beautiful lives.
A full
I
life.
help give them and so when you say the one, I talk to our clients about this all the time, like we are the source of all the good in our lives. And so it doesn't matter if it's a career goal, we want to be better mothers, wives, whatever it is, if the source isn't filled, we're capping our capacity to pour into everything else, everyone else, all the success we want. I just wanted to start with that because when you say the one, I'm like, you are the one. Each of us is the one. And not from a place of I'm the best, but from a place, I also listened to something you shared recently that I totally resonate with, but from a place of self-importance, made in the image of God. So I'm just as important as you. But because of that, I need to make sure I'm full. So I just wanted to share that to start up.
I love it. I love it.
But I actually started as a personal trainer when I was 21 years old. And when I was later in high school, I started getting into fitness in the gym. I traveled really far to school and I remember just how good I felt. Promising myself, I was like, I never want you at a desk job. And then losing how confident I felt in my body, losing how great I felt. And I also wanted a career where I felt like I was really making a difference in people's lives. Like I could look back at the end of the day and like my deathbed and be like, I made a difference. So I
the world. Yes.
Yeah. And so that's really what led me to that. In college, I majored in psychology. I've always been interested in humans and how we operate. But I really just started my career right off the ground as a personal trainer, had my own business, never worked in a gym, literally hung up flyers around and I was out shooting.
Here, Ann, find me.
I had no business knowledge at all whatsoever. And it started like that. And my dream was, oh my God, if I can help 10 clients, that would be amazing. And then that was like the biggest I can dream back then.
Yeah.
And then it expanded into specializing in nutrition coaching. I have 3 girls. So as I went through pregnancies, then I became a pre and postnatal specialist. So like I built on sustaining my health through all of these different facets of life, through moving, starting my business from scratch, starting my clientele from scratch. And then I just kept sustaining and improving my health year after year.
So much.
And what I started to recognize is with the clients I was working with, they would see incredible results with me. Anyone listening to this has had a trainer before or a nutrition coach, like you can see great results with them. And then you're like, sweet, I got it. Peace. And they go up. And I started to find a very familiar pattern where I'd get a call back from people 12 months later saying, I don't know what happened. I fell off, whether got a new job, had a family event, a pregnancy. I need to start up with you again, Tova. And so while anyone listening to this can imagine how great that feels, your clients are coming back to you, you missed them. But I started to feel like it was almost stagnated. It wasn't helping them grow. It was like, we're starting at square one again. And whenever anyone reaches out to work with a trainer, nutrition coach, our intention isn't, I want to feel great for 6 months and then I want to feel crappy again.
No, none of us want that at all.
The goal is like, this is my year, right? And yet people yo-yo. And so when I really started noticing my specialty, when you say the one, I was like, I needed to psychoanalyze, what am I doing? How am I operating that I'm able to be consistent? And I made a commitment to myself, Lisa. I was like, because all my clients were older than me when I started. I was 21. I had just gotten married and I was working with women 40s, 50s even. And they were like, Tova, once you have kids, you'll never get your body back. It'll never be the same. You're going to be exhausted, disheveled. And I was just like, deer in the headlights, no freaking way. That's not going
Yeah.
to be me.
Yes.
And I didn't know how, but I made a promise. I'm like, I'm going to get fitter after every kid just to prove these people wrong.
I love that. I love that.
And I did. It happened. Like I'm stronger now at 33 than I was ever in my life,
Oh,
which is so cool. But what I noticed is I was like, I'm done feeling like a band-aid solution for people's health and not to bash personal trainers or nutrition coaches. But I was like, I feel like I'm meant for more. I want to help women on a deeper level learn how to embody health, not just what I call get fit.
I wrote that down. I read that on your website. This is the difference between getting fit and being a woman who embodies health. I really want people to hear that. Like that to me, because yeah, there's a million different health coaches out there, so many personal trainers. I've had personal trainers that I loved and adored, and I did the exact same thing. I had great results. And then when they tapered off, sure enough, I called them back up and went back, and my programs were great. But I loved that. There is a gigantic difference between getting fit and being a woman who embodies health.
Yeah, 100%. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing in business. A lot of the women we work with are like high powered career moms balancing so many things. And they have this drive in business and this understanding of, I need to be this woman.
Yeah.
But it's often not duplicating in health. And so when you can duplicate, it's the same process when like the same process we help our clients now with health and embodying, you can do in a relationship, you can do in your career. But we all know it's not about just doing the actions for a short period of time. If you don't believe that this is who you are, it's not an identity, it's not an embodiment, it doesn't last. And
Yes.
so that's what I really care to talk about because I'm like, "So why are we wasting time talking about this food or this meal plan when it's not taking you where you want to go?"
Yes. And it's full embodiment. What I love about the way you do it, and this conversation is going to be focused on that, is I think women, we try and compartmentalize, especially as we get older. And then, like you're saying, when you have children, when you have a high powered career, when you have all these other things going on, if you have not had this health and fitness mindset for most of your life, that ends up being priority number 2 to 7 or 10. Let me get the work done so I can pay the bills. And I got these kids to take care of. We make it a to do instead of, if I truly embody my own health first, I have so much more energy for all the rest of this. And I did look on your website about all of these testimonials about very quick results, and not just quick results, but lasting results with that too. So yeah, talk to me about when you were first thinking, I want to be not just a fitness coach, but a complete health mindset person. What was it that kept you going when there are apparently so many voices out there speaking so loudly that yours is trying to make its own presentation of, I am the one, I'm doing this differently? What was that tenacity inside you that kept you going?
It's a great question. So I think what's been, and I'm so grateful to my mom for this,
Mm.
dieted. Well, I didn't
Okay.
grow
Mhm.
having an unhealthy relationship with food from my I think so many women have this path down, and so they see their mom trying all these diets. If anything, my mom was so against it. I was like anti-diet. I was so anti it when I first started. Like I was an unhealthy eater. I was like, how can I eat the most junk? I was into fitness, but I was like, did not even think about nutrition because I was like, that's crazy. So I
Mhm.
think I was able to just block out the noise,
Mhm.
and something that's been really important to me throughout my life, and not just in health, is I would rather do something slowly and move forward than be the person who bites off more than she can chew and fall backwards and be like that type of person. It's like, oh, it's embarrassing when something, are you still on that diet? Are you still doing that fad? And you're like, no. And everyone does that. And I never wanted to be that person. So I'd
Mm.
rather, like, I tell my clients this story all the time. It took me, as a personal trainer, 2 years to cut sugar out of my coffee. I have never had a client take that slow to do it. But I was like, if I'm not enjoying it, I know I'm going to fall back anyway. What's the point? And I
Oh,
weaned myself to the point where I'm like, I haven't had sugar in my coffee in years, and I I spit it out.
that's
But that's my method is I grow slower than most people. I never restrict or deprive myself. And I don't judge myself for not being where I want to be, yet I'm fully committed to being there. And I'm not attached to the timeline. And so we help our clients in IFA, Ignite Fitness Academy, ISA for short. It's not just about getting fit and sustaining it. When we think of the concept of sustainability, it's not just becoming a robot and doing something over and over. It's when you learn to fall in love with the journey and the process, it doesn't feel hard. Why would you want to quit?
And I think it's rare for people to think I can fall in love with the journey of getting fit. In their mind, luckily, I haven't been someone who's experienced a lot of weight fluctuations. I was blessed with very tall genes, although lots of sugar addiction. But there was a period of time where I'd gained a lot of weight and I thought, oh my gosh, the process to get this off. Nobody thinks, oh, this is going to be a fun process. So I love that you have a long-term sustainability mindset. How do you get people to really recognize it doesn't have to be this daunting, yucky process?
So it's so funny. The first thing that often our clients say when they first start the program is they think they're doing something wrong because they're like, I don't feel like I'm really doing anything.
I love
Most programs, they want to promise fast results because we want that. But so they have people take on everything at once. And that's incredibly abrupt, right? So I compare it to if you want to be a gymnast, an amazing gymnast, and that's your goal, but you don't know how to do gymnastics at all. But you say, I want to be the best. So let me go to the most advanced class
yeah,
and I'm going to do flips and handsprings and all that. And you go and you break your neck.
yes,
And that's not the fastest way to become an incredible gymnast, to become an incredible gymnast. It's not about, I went to an advanced class. It's how do I keep it? How do I build that skill? You start at the beginner with somersaults, not because the goal is to do somersaults, because that's where you start. It's obvious, it's logic. But with fitness and health, for some reason, it doesn't translate. So people are like, I saw results doing this. And it's like, sure, results. But now you're back here having a conversation with me because you gained it all back because it was way too abrupt. It felt unsustainable and you weren't enjoying your life overall. Why, when we think about why does someone want to lose weight, boost energy, all of this is, it's not about just the result. It's how we imagine we'll feel when we get it. And if we're not able to be present with our family because we're too consumed with food noise, or you're unhappy with, you feel like a prisoner, you're not going to keep it up. And your quality of life isn't that enhanced, even if you're feeling better in your clothes for a little while. So what we prioritize first is number one, the forever part.
uh,
The speed will come. And I always tell our clients, I'm like, I'm more committed to you. I'm more committed to when you reach the goal, no matter how long it takes, you feel confident you can do it for the rest of your life rather than just having you do it as fast as possible. Sometimes it's fast. We had a client this past month lose 18 pounds in 2 weeks, eating more and her cortisol was super high. She started eating more, drinking less coffee, like very few tweaks. Her body was like, thank you, just been listening.
yeah.
And then there's the one where it takes longer, but by the time they get there, they're happier. They feel like a better person. As an entrepreneur, and you probably can relate to this, Lisa, like I feel like it's the most beautiful personal development journey. If you're not growing at the person, you're going to be capped. It's the same thing with health. And I think people, like you said, compartmentalize it.
Yeah.
Being able to become a woman who sustains her health long term is a personal development journey.
Definitely. And I think, like you were saying, when a lot of people, when we're younger, we don't recognize the importance of that. And I took my health for granted for so many years. I didn't have to work out. So of course I didn't. And I made it a burden. I made it a task to do. And it was definitely on the bottom of my priorities. And then when I hit my 40s, and especially when I turned 50, I was like, oh, whoa, they were not joking when they say everything starts changing. And so then in my mind, it needed to become a priority. And I am lucky that it is something that I care about genuinely, but I think it's so important to start this younger. I finally got the difference between, dieting and fitness. And I want to take care of this beautiful gift of a body that has been carrying me around. And for me, it was, and I want you to share your story. For me, it was finally a recognition I had to personally in my mind, separate like the soul and the spirit of Lisa Toland and the body of Lisa Toland and recognize this gift of mine has been taking care of me, carrying me around, traveling the world, like sustaining me on donuts and a few salads and like definitely not the things that it needs, like a car, but even more precious. What should I be putting in here to really thank it for doing so well for so long, but to make it so that I do have all of that energy and even more energy than I could imagine so that I can accomplish the things my soul and my spirit want to do. And I think sometimes for some women, if we can separate the, oh, this is part of the things I need to do, it's something I should do, into if I'm if I make this such an important priority and this is all taken care of, all of these other dreams and visions that I have will have so much energy and sustainability because of that. That needs to come
Yeah.
first, not just the meditating. Yes, meditate and get your sleep, which I love, and that's important to me, but also take care of this beautiful gift that you've been given. What I love about your story is that you've done this. A lot of us will find excuses like, yeah, I'll take care of that when I get through this hard time. You've had 3 children and postpartum, and you have that unique story about when your husband volunteered. And I'd love for you to share that because I have a lot of single mom friends. I have a lot of working mom friends, mothers who have husbands who work full time. So they are consistently raising the children. They don't have a break. Share that part of your story because I feel like it's so applicable.
Yeah, I'm so happy to. And I really feel when you talk about like the summoning moment, I'm like, this, I felt what and the story I'm about to share, I almost felt like it was so big. I was like living in a movie, like main character level where I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm curious. This
Yeah.
is so intense. This is like a drama. Yeah, before I even share the story, I just wanted to give a little context that I think whenever you specialize in something and you've created some level of success, people just assume it was easy for you.
Yeah.
They assume it's easy. And so the times in my life where I think people actually had that like respect, oh my God, if she can do it, I can do it. But like through all of my pregnancies, I was like training throughout all my pregnancies and staying fit and all of the things and recovering postpartum. And but around that, people don't see the other things that are happening in your life. The stresses, the things that, like you said, the reason those people fall off, it's not because they suddenly forget how to exercise. It's the emotional toll that life takes. And we say, "Oop, it's too hard during this. It's too hard during this." That's where sustainability goes to die unless we build our personal power in order to maintain it during those times. Because we all know there's never a time where us feeling less healthy is helpful,
Ooh, that's
right?
important. There
Yeah,
is
it's more
never a
stressful.
time where us feeling less healthy is helpful.
Yeah.
Important.
So we'll
Yeah.
say, "Oh, it's so busy. My kids need me." It's great. They need you to feel your healthiest and most present. "Oh, my career, it's a busy work season." Good. You're going to need more energy for that. There's no time where it's like, you know what? People would appreciate me more if I was more anxious, had lower energy, and felt like, it's just not a thing.
Everything would be
So
so much better.
yeah. So that I just want to start with because
Yeah.
I think up until that point, except for certain times during my pregnancy where like it's so clear what my body is doing, you can't ignore it. All the other things, it's really easy to look at me and be like, oh, it's easy for her, but hard for me. Oh, Tova's not a single mom. And we work on the single mom. Tova's not experiencing this.
Yeah.
And then we lived in Israel up until 2023.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I wasn't born there, born in Baltimore, but since I was 18, I moved there. We had all our kids there. We decided to move back to the States in July 3rd, 2023. Okay.
Wow.
So
Not
we
even two.
moved and I just figure this is going to be the biggest event of my year. I'm moving country. I'm moving my business to a new country. This is going to be a whole thing, but this is what's happening. 3 months later, October 7th happens. My husband is an IDF paratrooper. And without a second thought, of course, I'm going back to serve. I'm not going to.
So if people don't know what October 7th was or what IDF is, share that really
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much.
just
So,
in case.
yeah. So on October 7th, Hamas brutally attacked Israel, slaughtered over 1,000 people. It was like the biggest devastation in Jewish history since the Holocaust.
And your husband,
And my
well,
husband serves a paratrooper in the Israeli Defense Force. So we met when our first year of marriage, he was in the army. Like I barely lived with him. It was really hard. And then in between, he'd be in reserves. So we left thinking, okay, reserve duty is done. That part of our life is over. We move, we're getting settled. 3 months in, we find out about this massacre. And it wasn't a question in either of our minds. Like when something like that happens, you're like, how can I help? And so he hopped on a plane October 8th. It was really hard to fly into Israel. All the airlines were closing, not knowing when he was going to come back or if.
wow.
You never know what happens in war. And it was such a big moment, Lisa. It was so big. We also work together, my husband and I, and he does all the carpool, all the things because I'm the CEO of the business, so I can do that. Oh, it was this level of trust that I'm losing my partner, my business partner. I would deal with all the finances, all the back end. My kid's dad is gone. I'm stepping way more into mom mode now. On top, so all the responsibilities on top of just the fear of, is my husband going to come back to me alive?
Right. Whoa.
And it was so big, I went into this calm. It was very strange, but I had to just trust in God because it was so big. I couldn't even delude myself that anything was in my control. And day to day, like these strengths, because we're like, I can do that. And we think we're in control. This was so massive. I'm like, I trust the business will be okay. Our clients will be served. I trust that God had the plan here, and I trust that I have a mission here. And so while I was dealing with some of the deepest pain and fear of my life, there was also just this calm and trust. And I targeted my whole focus on what's my mission? There's something big for me here. And during that time, we have a bunch of clients who live in Israel. So their husbands were also going to reserve duty and they were living under rocket fire. We had clients hopping off calls, team members. We have coaches who live there hopping off calls, running to bomb shelters in the middle of meetings. Like it was chaos. And I was there being like, these women are looking for someone to lead them, someone who gets what they're going through. And and I credit my health and my fitness and health to what kept me strong. Every morning, I'd wake up at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning, train. And physically, when you strength train, you physically tell your body, I'm strong, I can do hard things. So when no matter what I was feeling in the morning, I would train and people would see me. Like I'd post every day and show people what I was doing and they knew what was going on. I can do hard things. I could feel the pain. I can cry. I can be scared and I'd still show up.
I love this.
And I still nourish my body and I still regulate myself emotionally. And because of that, and this is why I'm like, everything I had built with my health up until this point, 11 years in, was for this moment. So that I could be strong enough to lead my family, so that I wasn't walking around doom and despair when my kids came home from school. I was smiling. We were having dance parties. Of course, they missed their father because he was gone, but they had no fear of what's going on over there. They couldn't feel that for me, at least. Of course, they were worried about their father.
Yeah.
And I was able to even have the capacity to lead our clients and lead our Instagram following double during that time because women were looking for positivity. They were like, there's so much negativity. I want someone who's going to keep me strong.
Yeah.
And I became that leader for so many women. And I feel that's what got me through is I felt I had a mission. I felt I had something bigger than myself to hold on to. And people thanked me for getting them through this time. We have clients who, one of them, a rocket hit their house. It was part of the damage. And through the time, she lost 50 pounds still and kept up with her workout. And she didn't give up. We were able to keep her resilient, like in the face of this. We have clients who, when Iran was firing rockets, like in tons of missiles, she drives 3 hours because she's a OBGYN to work. And she had to hop out of her car 3 times to hide. And she told me, Tova, because of the coaching we done together, I was able to regulate my nervous system and have faith.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, this happened for a reason.
Well,
this has happened for a reason.
This is not a laughable moment, but literally for you to be able to say, I have a client who had a rocket hit her house And she still managed to lose 50 pounds. I'm sorry, what was your excuse again?
Yeah.
It's not laughable. It's not, but that's so unbelievably huge. I love twice. It kept coming from such a natural reminder of who you are that women were looking for a leader. And because of everything you had done, you were that woman. Not only did you know it in your soul, but you were ready and you had lived it. And I think that's what's so key is for anyone listening to this, your story isn't just about health. Your story is about being a woman as a whole, being a mother as a whole, being a wife as a whole, being a partner. And it even makes me emotional all of a sudden but to be that human when there is a calling so far away for people that you love that no matter what, without question, I will rise to this occasion so that my husband can go and do something that matters to us. And I am in such a strong place as this woman and this human to know that I can take care of all of this so we can go and help those who need it. So for anyone starting off, your mission may not ever come full circle for a moment that appears as large as that. And yet, when you recognize you are the one, if you will just have that courage to follow it step by step, like you were saying, this is a 12-year beautiful business you've committed to, and it's expanded over time. You didn't just wake up one day and think, I'm going to have this business 12 years from now, but you committed to it and followed through, never knowing there would be that big of a moment. But if you stay the course, there's always at least one person you can affect. And now you're affecting so many more, and your Instagram doubled. And it doesn't have to be a big, terrible, horrific thing happening across the world for someone to do that, but it just intersected. That was part of your life mission. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I
Yeah.
love
And I love what you said, Lisa, because it's not even all these terrible things happened or these challenges, and someone was able to sustain their health. It's like what our clients thanked us for is I don't know where I'd be without IFA during this time. This is what got me through. It's prioritize our health and physical, mental, emotional first, because that's the source of who we are. And the
yeah.
stronger the source is, the more we can hold. And something else, I love what you said. My husband said he was with guides who a lot of women, and no judgment, because it's hard to have your husband gone and serving and being on with the kids, but they'd complain to their husbands and be like, when are you coming home? When are you coming home? Not once did my husband hear that from me. And I didn't see him for 117 days. He was gone.
Crazy.
And it was hard, but the reason I was able it to feel I could hold it down at home was because of my routine. And
Yep.
so I tell women, I'm like, this is for you, but this is for everyone else. If I was calling my husband being like, I need you to come home, how good of a soldier could he have been? He'd be
Oh, yeah.
distracted. He wouldn't be focused. It could have cost people's lives. We don't understand the impact that we have on all the other people when we don't understand the one, the self-importance. The one isn't about me being the one. It's about I'm I have the potential to impact so many other people. I better take me seriously
Yeah.
because I'm responsible for so many other humans.
And I love that so much because for me, understanding the one took way too long. But it started off much younger, where I was raised in a family where we were consistently looking for people to serve. You're supposed to serve. The one is going to show up in front of you that you're meant to serve. So you got to be aware, you got to be listening, you've got to be in the right mindset to be of service. And then later in life, I started to recognize, wait a minute. So the things that don't seem like gifts and talents, but they're mine and mine alone. Oh, okay, this unique combination of everything that seems good and seems bad, it's all mine. And there is only me, this one. And my brother and his girlfriend recently had twins, and it's been so beautiful to watch two identical little physical bodies. And yet by 5, 6 months, you can see such distinct personalities. So even when you look the same as someone else, raised in the same home, you have exactly so many intricate little details of what you've been gifted with. So if you can recognize there is one of me in this one beautiful life, at least one that I know of that I'm living right now, and if I can just take that and contribute in any way I can, there's at least one person out there that needs this story. And your story is so beautiful because it's not just women, it's women postpartum, it's any woman with or without children. It's women who work consistently, like really long hours, women who stay home and take care of children. It truly is the full embodiment of I want to take care of myself, my health, my mental health, my physical health. And you're exactly right. If these women weren't already mentally taking care of themselves, the level of fear, can you imagine what that would shut down your body, your cortisol levels, and everything? Everything would go haywire. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. The trickle effect. And that's what I see it. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. And we have any woman who applies to the academy, first, we have them discover their why. You're not clear on why this is important. You're not going to make it a priority.
Right.
You're,
Right.
we're givers, right? You're going to put your
Yes.
kid first no matter what if you feel like your priority isn't as important. But or your career or whatever it is, but when we're able to realize I'm the source of all the good in my life, every time I say yes to me and taking care of me, I'm saying yes to everyone else because what I'm doing is giving them someone who I know that they can rely on.
I
You
am
can
the source of
rely,
all the good in my life. That was key that you just said.
yeah, like you can rely on me to have good energy pretty consistently.
Yep.
That you can rely that I'm going to fill it. You can rely that I'm going to be strong and there and healthy and all of these things. And it's almost backwards in a society we've created all around productivity and giving and being a good person means to give. And without understanding, but where are you giving from? And if
Right.
the peak you're giving from is burnt out and exhausted, your energy is unreliable. You probably get sick more often. You probably snap more. So even if you're there, you're not as that even tempered or present as we want to be. Like there's a version of ourselves we want to unlock. And what I think so many women are battling is like unraveling the layers of the guilt of putting themselves first.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And without realizing we're saying no to everyone else when we're not consistently filling our cup. So whatever the excuse is, fill your cup. You're going to
Yes.
show up better.
Yes. Well, and like we were both talking about, we're not taught about self-importance. It was you're either selfless or selfish. And yet it's so vital that you recognize that you are important. If there happens to be women that come across this, that you don't know your passion and you're not sure of your why, and you have not understood the word self-importance or even heard of it, or you still feel like the most important role I have is a mother. Yes, but that is a role. It's a vital, very important role, but there is the importance of being you. And I feel like that has to be given the time and weight it should be. There has to be recognition and time to really sit with, I matter. And if I matter, then it's time for me to start taking care of myself on all levels. And that's what I think is so great about your academy is that it is all encompassing. It's not just a quick fix. It is all about let's take care of everything, the emotional, the mental, the physical, and it is very focused on the long-term sustainability. What's the hinting and whispering of what's coming next that's expanding your vision of you being the one?
Ooh, that's such a great question. I've always seen health, and now you could already hear here, is so multifaceted. And so
Yeah.
I really see it's almost like a spider web. Everything's connected, but I see
Mhm.
health as like the source. At least that's what it's been for me. Me taking care of my body and my health has led to how I show up in my marriage, how I show up in my business, even throughout the working the craziest hours. And for women listening to this, know what it's like to build a business from scratch 3 times. And all the emotions that it comes with and team and I've sustained my health through all of that. And I credit the longevity and sustainability to me prioritizing my health, which is very much the opposite of how most successful business women grow their business. They do have like burnout, no food, and lots of coffee and very little sleep.
So
And then people get so burned out. And it doesn't mean I haven't had periods where I'm like, oh my God, this is really stressful or burnout, but my health has always been here. It's like a reverse model. And so what I've always seen is I'm so excited for the day as we continue to expand into bringing this method and this model to there's 3 main desires of humans, right? There's health, relationships, and wealth. If we're
mm,
in 3 buckets. These are the 3 problems that if we could solve, oh my God. And so connecting back to the story with David, my husband, serving in Gaza, I I really believed that whatever happened would be good. Meaning, I don't believe that I'm like, if he comes back alive, God love me. If he doesn't, God hate me and it's bad. I feel it's an immature way of thinking, even though very painful. I
Yeah.
really believed I'm like, if God forbid he doesn't come back to me, then God's mission for me on this earth is greater without him than with him.
Wow.
And that now be the most painful thing in my entire world because he's my best friend in the whole world. But what I prayed for, but please God, let my mission be bigger with him than without him.
Wow, I love that.
And I promised, I was like, if he comes back to me, I'll take that as a sign that is my mission. And I promise I will do everything in my power to follow that.
You.
And over the years, even before he left, every time we speak about our marriage, our clients' marriages change in
Oh,
massive ways. Like it's one of when you have a zone of genius and it's so natural to you, you don't even notice that it's not normal until people
yes.
are like, so that's how our marriage is. Like when people say marriage is hard, I'm like, what do you mean? It's the
Wow.
best thing ever.
Yes.
So when I've heard people speak about like what most people speak about their husbands, I'm like, I can't relate. And so I knew that there was more here to bring this level of health and I started noticing why have I been able to sustain my health effortlessly because of the beautiful relationship I've built with my health. And it's the same duplicatable system I have with David. And
Yes.
so we started, since he came back, actually bringing relationship coaching into our program behind the scenes.
Oh,
We have clients whose marriages, we have a client who she's been married 43 years. That's more than double. My husband brought me a bouquet of roses. He's not romantic. He's never done that. He's flirting with me for the first time since we were teenagers. What's happening? Like amazing things. And so I'm just following this mission of I want to take our method and duplicate it to relationships and eventually and we have clients making big bold career moves as well. Like I see it expanding to all the 3 main areas where we want to be really richly successful, like from the inside in life. It's the way we do it. It's not the results. And we all know that. Yet we still chase. You'll see the
Mhm.
same thing in business. People chasing money. We'll fall into that trap when it's like all the money in the room won't make you happy if you're not proud of who you're being in the process and you're not loving your relationship with your work and all of that. And so when I see the expansiveness of like, oh my God, we're going to help people transform all of the areas on a massive scale one day. And this method will become known for that.
Uh,
That's the big vision that I hold on to.
oh, okay. So tell us, how can everyone find you? Tell them your website. What's your favorite social media? All of that.
So probably easiest, and I could send my website as well, is on Instagram, which is Ignite Fitness for Women. And my website is also really simple. That really describes the program. There's a ton of interviews to binge, so it's actually really fun. For Ignite Fitness Academy.
I was looking at that earlier too. IgniteFitnessForWomen.com.
So
That's
the Instagram.
great website. I know, and you can go see a bunch of testimonial stories and you can see all these women. I think it's fantastic. And then did you have a free guide?
Yes. So this we just recently created because 90% of our clients, we say start them simple. We start them with the 3 simple things. And then we'll customize it for each person and build off of that. But we have a free 30-day guide we created for high performance moms to boost energy and shed up to 10 pounds. I say up to 10 pounds. We've had clients more, less. But the point is, you're going to start feeling so different in your body in 30 days. And it's literally 3 simple things we have our clients do. And the guide walks you through it. There's actually follow along workouts in it. There's like a whole healthy breakfast cookbook in there. So if you're like, I don't believe this chick, how can you start? When you start without it feeling restrictive. This is when people start this and they don't believe it. They're like, this is too easy. And then they start seeing results and then they start becoming believers. So we can drop that for anyone who wants that as well as a gift from me to you.
Oh, I love it so much. It has been such a pleasure having you. I love that you have already embodied that you are the one on your mission. You know what it is, and that you already start to see the expanded vision into relationships and business and really take that as far as you possibly can. And we'll definitely include a link when this is released for everybody. And if you have any questions, reach out to her, go to her website, check her out on Instagram. I'm sure we'll see you again. Thank you so much for coming. I have loved having you on here. And I truly believe that what you're doing will impact the world. I think this is so important. Such a
No, thank you so much for having me, Lisa. This was a blast.
thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.